6:50 now, and pancreatitis is a common disease for both dogs and cats. Randall is joining us with our vet for the Ask the Vet segment. Randall?
All right, thank you, Patty. Yes, and Dr. Joel Conn joining us this morning to talk about this. Thanksgiving time, the holidays, when you go to visit or when you have people over your house, there's a lot of temptation to feed the pets. And a lot of the holiday traditional things you eat can be high in fat, and that can lead to this condition, right?
Pancreatitis. Yeah, that's something we like to talk about around the holidays because it seems to be a common time for it. And pancreatitis is a really common disease in both dogs and cats, and it can be very acute or it can be more chronic and vary from very mild to life-threatening. And what pancreatitis is, the pancreas is a digestive organ. It sits right near the stomach, attached to the first part of the small intestine. We've got a little picture here.
It creates bile?
It creates bile, which aids in digestion, so it's kind of that the red structure there on the diagram. And what happens is it becomes inflamed, and we're not sure why this happens. In many cases, the cause is what we call idiopathic, and that doesn't mean your veterinarian's an idiot for not knowing why. It means we don't know what causes it, right. But there have been some risk factors identified. And as you mentioned, high-fat foods, obesity is a big risk factor. The breed of dog is a risk factor as well. Miniature schnauzers can be predisposed. And these are the symptoms you're going to see: decreased appetite, vomiting, diarrhea, painful belly, or sometimes a hunched posture, a little ouchiness when you go to pick up your pet, and fever. So they're very non-specific kinds of symptoms, and they can look like lots of other diseases. Right. So one of the things you want to do if you see any of these kinds of symptoms is first of all see your veterinarian, rule out other causes, and see if you can arrive at a diagnosis. There's lots of things we can do to prevent pancreatitis. So we mentioned obesity is a huge risk factor. So keeping your pet at a healthy weight is really important. Routine screening exams with your vet, so ruling out diseases like diabetes, hypothyroidism, both of which can predispose to this condition, and then avoiding those high-fat foods, as you mentioned.
And a lot of even the dry food that you can feed your pets have a lot of fat in them. It's kind of hard to avoid fatty foods.
It can be. I mean, in general, if you stick with a good quality name brand commercial diet, you're probably fairly safe. It's the table scraps that get us. And your 20-pound dog that gets half a piece of bacon is like a 200-pound person eating a whole bag of bacon, or one rib equals a whole side of ribs. So
remember,
keep that in mind.
Yes, behave yourself when you're over at your friend's house, and warn your visitors, please don't feed Fido, because we want to avoid pancreatitis.
Yep.
If you have a question, it is called Ask a Vet. Go ahead and do so. You can send your note to, what is the, here it is over here. It is askthevet@kcoy.com. Sorry, I had to look at a different screen. There we go. Askthevet@kcoy.com. Dr. Joel Conn with the Pismo Beach Veterinary Clinic. I can tell you firsthand they have a good operation there, because that's where our Papas and Florcita go. As always, thank you so much, sir. Great to have you on the show. And we are back in just a moment.